in the back of the London Ultra Cab this week for this end of year, you could say, blockbuster. We have Body Popper and Locker from back in the day, DC Rock, aka Danny Francis in the back.
Hello people.
How you doing?
I'm good, bruv, I'm good. Just, you know, my mum said you're working hard or hardly working.
Listen, it's an honour to have you in the back of the cab, and you know, you got some unbelievable kind of like history, so it's going to be great to kind of touch on that. So like, yeah, first two questions I always ask is, you know, like, where are you from, and what was it like growing up as a kid?
I'm from Dawson in Hackney, and
so you're from the east side.
Yeah. And growing up was cool, you know, the whole thing, you know, you do your thing. We played them around in abandoned buildings and stuff, you know. It was like after World War II, the 70s, you either ate spam or you didn't. And made a little gangs and stuff and got up to nonsense, nothing too bad. It was fun. Yeah, I had a good childhood. I'd prefer for the kids to have a childhood that we had than the one they've got right now. It's a bit stressed out, but I mean, it was fun, you know.
I mean, as I said when I interviewed Jumping Jack Frost, we were saying, like, back in the sort of the 70s and the 80s, there was a lot more kind of community spirit.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody knew each other. There was more family like parties and street parties. There was a lot more kind of community spirit back then. Yeah,
I mean, that's that kind of vein. I mean, we lived in Dawson. We lived on the Rhodes Estate, and across the road from us was the Hollis Street and the Orange Flats, and up the road was Cromer Terrace. And every once in a while, the older boys would get into a slight argument, but the younger boys, we would go and literally knock at people's doors and say, "Hi, Mr. Danziger, hi, Mr. Singh, can blah blah come out and play today?" And we go and we walk around, we do cause our little nonsense, but nothing too bad. So that was always an idea for me anyway, growing up, to have that thing where you know people from all over the place and you'll get on.
What music was you listening to back then?
I've always been a weird kid from Dawson, because especially in the 70s, Dawson was actually predominantly reggae and dub and lovers rock and stuff, and I like that stuff. But I liked like the funk and stuff like that, you know, like old Cameo and Clear and things like that. Always been attracted to that vibe there, and the electronic music, things like that. I mean, they used to call me the Black Punk in the 80s because I just liked the electronic music, like Ultravox and Chuboyami, because they really got up in Kraftwerk, got into that stuff, and that Sakamoto, right? And I got into that stuff really early, like, wow, what's this sound?
Sorry, Dan, what did they call you? It was a bit loud there.
Sorry, the Black Punk.
Oh, the Black Punk. Oh, yeah. Was you into the punk sound as well?
I like punk music as well. You know, I grew up with that stuff there from the mid to late 70s, but also because when we were growing up, if you listen to anything that wasn't like soul, R&B, or maybe funk or reggae, you was one of them punk people. So I'm listening to the ska business, and they didn't get into that again because that was what their granddads listened to, and back then the Skinners was listening to it. So you're bored of that, and then I liked all the electronic music. So I'm a punk because I like the stuff that's not their stuff, and I think I've always been slightly eclectic in the things I appreciate things. I think that's bloody good, and I dig it. And so yeah, I get into that. I understand that.
What kind of stuff was you rocking back then? Was you going for the punk style, like the hairstyle and all that? Nah,
I ain't crazy, man. I can listen to this. I ain't wearing that through Dawson. You're joking. I'm trying to go Ridley Market with that, and listen, you get lynched. You know. Plus, you know, I'm young back then, so my mum buys all my clothes, so she's gonna say, "Nah, you're all right." But when I got my little Saturday jobs, like 11 and 12. I used to try to emulate my older cousins from East London, because they were all them boogie boys. And then man, Trevor Shakes and Paul Trouble, all the guys, they're bigger boys to us. Yeah. So they come down and rock their gear with a little parting in the hair and stuff, and the baggy jeans with a red stripe or yellow stripe.
And the baggy shirt.
Yeah, them something there, and the little slippers, shoes. So I'm trying to.
And the baggy trousers.
Yeah, and the soul belts. So I'm trying to do that one as well, because of course they're dancing now, and I was always into my dancing, but I was never confident, you know, because I'm slightly geeky. So
so who from back then, when we're going back to what, like late 70s?
Yeah, I mean,
who was influencing you back in the late 70s?
I'm watching them guys, because I used to get tunes from my mother's cousin Tony used to be a bass guitarist for a group called Central Line. Yeah. From East Ham sides. So you had like Light of the World, groups like that were doing the jazz funk thing from this country. So I was influenced through my family into that stuff there, and doing the little dance moves and stuff, and trying to emulate the bigger boys. So I've always had that jazz funk, jazz soul thing in me, and the dance thing to me that always goes with that, and the culture side of it as well.
And what can you remember the kind of clubs you was going to back then?
Oh, no, going what club? Community centre. I'm talking about 13, 14 years old.
Oh, so like youth club and all that.
them something there.
Yeah.
And then and I kind of got out of the whole dancing thing really. I got right into my comics and stuff like that, like bang into my comics collections and all that stuff. Then and the drawing thing and reading to the point where if my mother threw a party, they'd say, "Where's Dan?" And my uncle would say, "He's under the table with a comic book and a sketch pad. He's there drawing Spider-Man again," or something like that. I'd literally be there hearing the music, but not confident enough to go out there and do the dance thing. You know, I didn't start dancing until quite late, to be honest.
Late 70s, early 80s?
Early 80s, because we went to New York in 1980 to go and see my grandfather and grandmother, my brother, my sister and I. And literally was in Queens, Sutter Avenue. And I looked out the window and there was a block party.
Wow.
And it threw me because I'd seen street parties. I remember, I'm old enough to remember the Queen's Silver Jubilee where they had the bunting up and stuff, and it was like very genteel, and it was like a cake picker. Now this thing is like boom, bop. I'm like this.
Proper going off.
I'm like, wait, what is this? What is this thing? And
what music was they playing in the block party?
The block party.
Disco.
No, hip hop was just starting to do its thing.
Right.
Disco wasn't doing its thing anymore. And they were doing the beats and rhymes and stuff. And the thing is, and I've said it in my book, the memoirs of the Poppin Wizards, which comes out soon, hopefully. Yeah. But the first thing I saw was when I saw the sound system. I've seen sound system set up, so I'm used to that thing. Big speakers, people doing their thing. Never seen 2 decks before, and I saw there's a fair-skinned girl cutting up Freedom by Flash and the Furious 5. And then like, and it threw my brain into like, I had a spasm.
Is that when you first fell in love?
That was it. That was it. I was shaking. I was like, no, what is this? And like, and then the dances that they were doing out there, out here they had the boogie dancers and stuff, and everyone did the boogie moves, did a thing, had their own little styles. But out there and back then in New York, there was always like this one dance of the time that everyone did. And I always remember 3 dances that they did: the football, the Paddy Duke, and the rock. And they would do these 3 dances to certain tunes. But then I saw this guy doing what they call electric boogie. Right. Which I now later on found out was electric boogaloo, Poppin and stuff like that.
Which originated West Coast, wasn't it?
California. But remember, they see it on Soul Train and copy the moves. We didn't have anything like that out here. Unless you knew someone that danced, you didn't get into that side of things. So we've seen that. And then we've seen the older boys doing what they call the Moreno, which is what you call b-boying. And when I found that later on, they called it the Moreno because in the early 70s, the black kids danced that way. But by this time, like the early 80s, the sort of late 70s, early 80s, the Hispanic kids have picked it up and kind of reformatted it. So I'm seeing these guys, and I literally thought they're doing gymnastics to music.
Wow, yeah. That must have blew your head.
Through me.
Yeah.
Proper frogged.
And you from then on, that was it. You started body popping.
No, I didn't start body popping then.
Right.
I was my first saw graffiti out there as well. That same time that did my head in as well. I thought because I remember seeing like, and I've seen kind of the trains kind of thing, but I've seen it in film. I remember seeing Warriors, and there's that scroll on the wall thing. And then I've seen in 1980, I've seen like Dondi, like a burner with skill and dexterity into it. It's not that some guy just doing a little thing like that. It's like, I'm like, ow.
A proper piece of art.
Yeah. So of course, the summertime's over. Come home, and I remember going to school at Islington Green. You know where you are, and telling everyone what's going on in New York, and everyone called me a liar. I'm like, no. And I literally went from Dan the cool guy to being Dan you arsehole. So I spent the next 2 years undercover, and then in 1982. Jeffrey does the moonwalk, or the backslide. They call it moonwalk. Jeffrey does the backslide.
What on top of the pop?
Yeah. And then the next day goes to school, and everyone.
Shalimar.
Yeah.
Video,
the things I didn't see it, and they went to school. and Everyone said to me, "Show me what this is doing." I told you that's what they used to call the electric slide when I was out 2 years ago in New York. And they say, "Yeah, but man still can't spin in his head." Then a couple of months later on, Buffalo Girls comes out, and everyone's b-boying. And then all the kids are going, wow, 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 this thing.
Yeah, Buffalo Girls, that was kind of, I think, the end of 82, early 83, end of 82.
End of 82 they came out.
Yeah.
In the summer, I think.
Well, the Shalimar, that hit Top of the Pops, I think it was early-ish 82.
Yeah.
And then obviously Planet Rock come out in 82, around April 82. Yeah. So would you say the Shalimar thing was a big influence on you as well?
Yeah, of course, because like I said, you know, I'd seen the b-boys doing their thing and the electric boogie dancers doing their thing, but even then, it was, to me, that was just a localized thing to them. Like, even before we went to New York, Rappers Delight come out, and I just thought that was a gimmick thing they did. I didn't realize that MCing was a thing, was like a work that people actually did. So when the videos actually started to cross the pond, and everyone started to get into it, and it was a fad back then until it picked up a much more traction, and then everyone started to get into it. You know?
And I think the main reason why people got into it, which really kicked it off, was through Buffalo Girls.
Yeah.
Because they see the Buffalo Girls video, and that, you know, that was massive, wasn't it? On Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
And it just blew up, didn't it? And it cemented kind of like the four elements of hip hop, because in that you had someone on the decks doing the turntables, you had the graffiti, the b-boy and the popping, and obviously the MCing as well.
And that's, you know, I think to me that's when it started to kind of hit. But even then, that sort of going back, even when that was a hit sort of thing, but people didn't realise what it was. To me, what makes me laugh is that people think hip hop, the only thing about it is one thing, the music sort of thing. They don't even think about the four elements, and people forget that everywhere around the world where it caught on because of the people saw the dancers. Yeah. And people didn't see people dancing in suits and top hats. And people see people like themselves on the street corner just getting down. So you see that, you think, I can do that as well. I love it. I'll give that a kick. And that's what people just jumped on that one there, and then learned about the DJ, and then learned about the graph, and then learned about the MC, and then got all the entire thing and right knowledge about themselves. But before that, and people, to me, always forget. I mean, Rodney P says it. He goes, he starts coming to Covent Garden. He goes, he remembers everyone that was there before him started off dancing and then found another trade. He goes, he's probably one of the first part of the early generation that came down as a pure MC. Everyone else did the DJ Billy business. Zulu Rocker, Spider Billy. He was a dancer, he was a Poppin before, then he was the b-boy, then he became a DJ. So everyone from that era started off doing something else and then moved back somewhere into another part of the hip-hop scene.
And, you know, obviously as well, being for Zulu Nation as well, that kind of cemented the pillars together as well, because obviously we followed the peace, unity, love, and having fun kind of vibe. But also that was kind of gelling the elements of hip-hop together as well.
Yeah, but there's also like a fifth pillar that doesn't really get spoken about.
The knowledge.
Is knowledge, is right knowledge. You know, read a book. Yeah. Don't mess around and get to understand yourself and understand others around you, and don't do things that you know are not right. I mean, there was a time when Covent Garden was beautiful for about a year and a half, and then the gangsters moved in and was like, oh mate, got a bit toey. But I mean, the Roughneck Boys were cool with us because we were so busy dancing, we weren't even seeing the girls around us watching us. So they'd move in, take the girls away and do their thing, and we're just trying to get this move right. You know, like nutters, you know.
Was you down Covent? Was you down there to busk and earn money, or was you down there for both, to basically battle and earn money?
I mean, I first saw Covent Garden through a friend of mine, Colin West.
Actually, Dan, what we should do? Should we actually go back to the Poppin Wizards?
Yeah.
Let's take it back to there, because obviously was Poppin Wizards before the Covent scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poppin Wizards was like 82.
So who was in Poppin Wizards?
It was formed by a guy called Colin West. We called him Damn Swift. And there was a guy called Terry King, Derek Morgan, what's his name? Paul Barrow. And an honorary member of it was this guy called Terry Tuitt, also known as Fury, one of the best Panther Band dancers I've ever danced with, and myself. And we had the Poppin Wizards call group. And then, because everyone wanted to get into it, and the younger guys called themselves the Wizard Force, and then the little kids were like the Junior Wizards, and that was like a big Hackney thing, and it was lovely to do because we're young guys trying to do a thing for other young people around there and stop people from. And we always had the idea of the Zulu Nation, you know, of trying to sort yourself out and don't be like the other kids around there doing nonsense. Try and just do the right thing that you know is right. And then, you know, we're doing like shows and battling around in Hackney, doing our bits and pieces and blah, 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 blah. And then I think we saw Sidewalk on Bacchanal and Micron on Bacchanal as well. They're busking in Covent Garden. So we went, oh, we'll have a bit of that. So we went to Covent Garden and started to meet other people who have also seen the show as well. And then we went there as like some sort of mecca. And then, of course, you know, with the b-boy mentality, hierarchies start getting formed. Who's the best at this? Who's the best at that? So you start battling like every day. You're battling everyone, all comers, all day, just to make sure you get known for that one there. You know, and that was fun. And then, you know, I remember we did an audition to do a competition, and we got through, but we were too young to actually enter it properly. So we got like tickets to go to the Lyceum, and Sidewalk won it, and that's when we started to meet those kind of guys from South London and East London and all over the place. And we realised, you know, like we're heavyweights in Hackney, but we're very, very tiny fish in a big sea. And these guys are brilliant. We have to go home and practice. So
Poppin Wizards, they were an East London crew.
Yeah.
And you only popped.
Yeah.
Did you also break?
No, just Poppin.
Poppin.
Because it's the really early days. You know, just the days where we were still learning the popping thing as well, as opposed to the b-boying thing. You know, and I mean, I came a little bit later. My brother sort of graduated from Wizards Force, and we formed a group called the All Star Breakers because I learned to do windmills by going to Covent Garden and hanging out with this guy G-Ski and Grant Santino. And Grant is a very famous boogie dancer. I think he won the 1979 World Disco Dance Championships, and he's plenty good at what he does. But he's got a background in gymnastics. So the b-boying kind of came fluid to him. He understood the dynamics of it. So they taught me to do windmills, and I could do it really slowly. Never get any speed on it, never traction. So I showed my brother and Colin to do the motions and they had to catch your hands and stuff, and they got it. I had to say, you know, the breaking thing's going to be the thing of the future. So I stuck with the popping and that, and them guys went on to the b-boy, and then it started hard. And we formed the first group that we called was the All Star Breakers. And that was a really short-lived thing. And then we got really into the Zulu Nation idea of things, and we formed the Zulu Rockers. And we made like a mandate to basically go around London and burn all the top crews and nick their best man. And we kind of did that, you know.
And who was it? Who was in Zulu Rockers?
It was my brother Mark Francis Flipski, Damn Swift, Airborne, David Jacobs, Tony Messiah, Turtle T, Skipper G, Looper Legs, Sahara, Abigail, little Abigail, Seguilola, Soul Boy.
Oh, you say there were some girls in Zulu as well?
Yeah, we had girls in the. I mean, we all tried to have girls in our groups, especially in the early days, because then they were into it and they wanted to be a part of it, you know. And we weren't on that thing where it's like a boys-only club. You know, lots of people that when they sort of recant their tales about the old days, they forget how many really good girls were down there, and they were top flight. And the thing is, I've always been a person that if you're good, you're in. If you're pants, get out. So it's not a thing where you're one of us guys. You got to be good to step to the plate. Otherwise, go about your business. Go and sit down over there and do your thing. So yeah, so with a few girls sort of come through the ranks. Trying to remember, there was a guy called Killian. He was supposed to be with us, but he lived in Surrey. And he couldn't get up for training and stuff, so we had to let him go on that one. And it pains me because he's one of the best guys I've seen for like forever, you know. Yeah, but you know, and this is the time that this is like, you know, I think maybe 84, like 83, I think, going into 84. This is around the time we actually met Bam, because we.
Is that the first time you met Bam in 84?
Yeah.
Where was that? At Lyceum?
No, Electric Ballroom. Because what actually happened was we were there and we got our Zulu Rockers t-shirts made and stuff like that. They're rocking, doing a thing, and always threatening to battle Sidewalk, and it never really happened.
Is that why you called yourself Zulu Rockers after partly Zulu Nation?
The idea of it, the entire idea of our thing was, you know, we can be better than. I can remember everyone in Zulu Rockers was from a different area. Like Turtle T's from Tottenham, Luper's from Camden, Seggy's from like Pimlico, Abigail's from like, I think she was like from Hounslow somewhere. Skipper G was from like way out, like country, like Southall sides. But we'd all meet up and try and get this thing done. And it was a thing where, no matter where you come from, come and do the right thing, and we can work this thing out. We can make this thing sort of go forward. And I remember we were rocking our t-shirts in the ballroom, and this blonde lady, this blonde American lady comes, yeah, I've seen you doing your thing, blah, 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 blah. And I think her name was Patty. I'm not sure of her last name, but don't want to lie. And she gave us a bunch of Zulu beats. She said, yeah, I've heard about you guys. Bam really liked it. And she was doing publicity for Bam out here before he came out.
Where was she from? UK?
No, from America, from New York.
States.
And she was doing work, sort of liaison between there and here. After Planet Rock sort of blew up, and then I think Renegades came out, and they realised, you know, this could be a thing to transport from there to here. And we're called the Zulu Rockers, and we're living a certain lifestyle. We didn't drink, we didn't smoke. All them things there. I think we made up for it now. But back then, we were really sort of really clean living kids, you know. And I think within about a month, he came out and he actually held court with us and was like, Bam sitting there, Bam doing this, well, blah 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 thing, you know. And it was a beautiful thing, and we used to sort of open shows for him and stuff like that. And he'd come out and do the solo tip and bring us along with him to do the shows and everything like that. And he'd come stay at my mum's house and stuff like that. So it was a cool idea. And everyone would come to my mum's house and chill out and just sit and jam and talk and eat and stuff like that. And just reason, which is a good thing for a teenager to sit down and not trying to hype himself up. Just sit down and have a regular chat with somebody else.
Was your mum into hip hop as well?
Yeah, my mum used to manage at the Zulu Rockers. I mean, my mum was called Mama Zulu.
Really?
Yeah. I think my mother realised that this ain't no little silly thing that the boys are doing.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, a couple of times we did shows and people didn't want to pay us and things like that. So my mum went, okay, I'm going to come and manage it because they're not going to tell me no about your money. You've earned it. You don't make people work and don't pay them. You know, if you make them do a day's work, you pay them a day's wage.
Yeah, it's a liberty, isn't it?
Yeah.
For like, do a Freeman, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, so I mean those are the like the early days of the transference of the Zulu Nation idea from the States to like England, and that idea going from London and going up north as well, because then people come from like Birmingham, Wolverhampton. We'd battle the B-boys from Wolverhampton, and we would chat afterwards, and they realised that there's not war. There's war when you're spinning in your head. But afterwards, guys, because the KFC has something to eat, we sit down and reason and laugh and joke. And they start to get into the idea like there's not a war between all of us, different people from different cities and stuff. You know, which they, you know, I think the powers that be would like us to be as divided and conquered as possible, because that way we ignore what they're doing to us right now.
One of the first Zulu Nation in UK.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of the first band would call us Zulu Kings, and Seki was Zulu Queen, and to kind of trying to organise and galvanise the people, and like, things like this, like I said about my mum being a manager, realising to ourselves, we're doing shows, don't let the guys stiff us on our shows and things like that, and make sure little silly things that we hadn't thought of. Then we need to do a show in Slough, get a car for us to get there and get us back. We're young teenagers, you know, and pay us what we're worth, things like that. And we hadn't thought of that beforehand, before these. And God bless them, they've said to us, and they taught us how to have that sort of work ethic in the future, you know. And I think it was a beautiful thing. And they taught us how to look after each other. I remember doing shows in Hammersmith with young Basil Pepperpot and young Darnell and young Sipo, and saying, you lot stay behind us, guys. We're going to make sure you get paid, and we're going to make sure you get home tonight. We go to the parents' house first and say, they're coming with us, we're going to bring them home before we go home. And we learned that from the whole Zulu Nation idea. Because I'm not sure what any of us would have been doing without that little tweak of a brain. Yeah. We could have just went, I'm taking all the money and rang off, you know. So I mean, I always think that was one of the best ideas that came out of that hip-hop thing, and I think it's still a good idea that holds them together right now, you know.
And Danny, what did you have like who was influencing you back then as a popper?
As a popper, always Poppin Pete.
Poppin Pete.
Always Poppin Pete, mate. Poppin Pete and Skitty Rabbit, always. You know, it's like it's the style and the idea. Because I remember back then, people would come to my house and say, like, there's a guy called Melvin. He still works at Covent Garden, the shows and that. And he came to my house once, and he said, "Yeah, I hear you're Danny Francis." I said, I looked behind me, I said, "Who?" And he goes, "Yeah, I heard you got moves." And up till now, he's still got the idea. How long can you dance without repeating the same move? I'm like, that's not what the dance is about. I mean, my theory about doing dancing is like, you know, you're supposed to dance, drop something heavy, keep dancing, then drop something heavy, then keep dancing. It shouldn't just be move, because number one, I get tired, and even I get bored. So, I mean, and I learned to do that thing from watching Poppin Pete, just get down, because Poppin Pete is all about dancing to him. Then he might drop a move, a W or a corkscrew or something, but it's about and catching the beat and then things like that and dancing to the tune. And I've always tried to do that and treat it as not so much as though it's work. It's supposed to be, I'm supposed to be smiling, which is why, I mean, there's quite a few guys back in the days, and I'd say to them, yeah, you're good, but you look like someone got a gun to your mum's head. Like,
yeah, what, really rigid?
Yeah, like, I must do this, because I don't know if they will. I'm like, calm down, son, you're having a laugh.
Just right, relax.
Yeah, enjoy it, man, have fun. And to me, the best dances that I've ever seen is when they're dancing, I'm enjoying watching them enjoy themselves. You know? So
Poppin Pete and Skeeter Rebel are massive hits.
Yeah. Dennis Charles, who I ended up partnering with, but he schooled me in a lot of my formatting and the way to drop moves as a short guy, because a lot of the moves that were coming out then were kind of ripped off from really, really tall guys. And if you ain't got like a 6'5" structure, you can't really do that big mad way, can you? So you got to work our way to do it how your forms, you know. So yeah, I mean, Dennis Charles, you know, was a big influence on me.
Is that Diamond Head Dennis? No.
I remember Diamond Head Dennis was. I met him when I met Duke and Dr. Stewart, and I mean, he was fantastic though. He was absolutely fantastic. When I saw them guys, they was teaming up doing their thing, and he used to be like a sub-member of Micron as well with Dion and Sir Rapid.
Yeah.
So all them guys used to do that thing, and we didn't realise at the time that the way we worked, our crew was like a family. Their crews are like really sort of transient. Like depends on who turns up. Yeah, jump in, you're part of the crew. Whereas we go, nah, I'm not dancing with you. That kind of thing like that. But I mean, Diamond Head, he was vicious back in the days, man. But I knew was a guy called Nicholas Ditterville. Yeah, always had a lovely style to him, and he literally do the less is more.
What crew was Nicholas in?
He was never really down with the crew. He was one of the
kind of like a one man.
Yeah, he go raving and stuff, jumping on show for anything. But he was like, he's more of a.
Yeah, big shout out to Nicholas as well. I'll take him in on this.
Yeah, Nicky, man. Yeah, Nicky's my boy.
Yeah.
And up till now, I think I see him this year at Cott's Barbecue. And he still does get down.
He's still got the moves.
I always love your style.
Still got the moves.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that were out there doing their thing, and a lot of really, really good guys, really good girls out there that kind of felt they didn't become sort of famous on the scene. And I'm not sure if that's what it wanted or not to be. They just want to hang out and do their thing, which I think is actually a better way to do it, you know, because then people don't terrorise you, want to burn you all the bloody time, you know.
And did you have a favourite b-boy as well?
Well, British or American?
Yeah, let's do UK and then do stateside.
UK, Flipski, my brother.
Flipski?
Yeah, my brother, all the time. Flipski was the inventor of what we used to call the awkward combinations. Now everyone knows you can do footwork into a swipe, into a backspin, into a pop-up. Flip will go down, head first, pop up, then go into a swipe, then go to a mill, pop back into a swipe, which is bloody awkward, because no one had done it before. It's not like, I remember we had no cameras back then. So anything you saw to be influenced for, you have to remember that damn thing, or make it up yourself. I mean, I've had arguments with American lockers and poppers and stuff, and they're saying, you know, your style is different than nah. And I said, literally, we got a lot of our stuff from the Boogie Boys. All of our floor moves were actually, we go to the extra ballroom and go upstairs to the jazz room and literally rip off the Jazz Boys floor moves because we had none of our own. You know, we'd be sitting there with tapes of the Nicholas Brothers and the Whitest Dancing Demons and the Berry Brothers to get our locking on, because we didn't have the Soul Train thing. We didn't have anyone to emulate but people around us, which is why we got. But he did something that I thought was interesting. He didn't just do the same thing and get momentum from the first bit to the second bit. He did something where it's going to be a bit odd. Can he get it done? Can he jump in? It works. I can make it happen, sort of thing. So I like that.
He was always pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to do that especially when I pop in, when I was locking. But we had a theory, what we used to call the ugly angles in popping, where people just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was lovely. We want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for no reason. People go, what happened there? And to me, like as I say I was training people before, and I say, if when you dance, people don't go, whoa, what the hell was that? Or go, damn, that was sweet. You've not done your job. They're supposed to go, whoa, that was slick. Oh, wait, do it again. And that's to be the aim of what you do. Otherwise, anyone could do it. So that's my favourite b-boy from England.
And actually, who else was you rating as well as a b-boy back then? About a bit like Hallett?
Hallett, pound for pound, the thing when my brother quit, pound for pound, Hallett was the best boy in London though.
Hallett was bad, man.
Hallett was the breaker's breaker. Hallett should have been a London All-Star, but them guys, they just keep fighting and arguing over stuff. But Hallett would, and Killian would have been a London All-Star, but same thing, he couldn't get from sorry for training all the time, you know, and with kids, you know. But yeah, pound for pound, Hallett was one of the top boys out there. King Breaker was firing as well. I mean, I've danced with King Breaker, and I seen him pull some stunts. Like one time we was doing a show, and he's done his mad top rock. I just died off stage, on his hands on the floor, on Buzz Mills. I'm like, you're mad, you're crazy. What's wrong with you? And he did it. When he did it, he's smiling all the way through it. I'm like, you're bonkers, man. Yeah, them guys are dangerous, man. Hallett, pound for pound, was a b-boy out there. Hallett was the b-boy's b-boy, you know. And I remember, the thing is, people call me, I've never been at a proper London All-Star. Me and Dennis Charles used to do work with them when they're doing a big show, and the b-boy gets tired.
Was you back in All-Stars for the Poppin and locking moves?
Yeah.
Because obviously that was mainly predominantly breakers.
Yeah. We come in from time to time and do shows with them and blah blah blah. But we weren't like full on. We're like, I don't know, would you say honorary members or something, you know? But I'd also move with lift the break. I'd go down to the centre when them guys are training, and I'd go and train upstairs with Cav Manning and Brian Amos, the company boys.
What, down at Charing Cross?
Yeah, I did and learn the boogie boy stuff as well with them guys there, and then they'd ask me about locking moves and stuff like that. So we'd all interact, sort of mix and blend it, that thing there. So you know, I mean, there was so many good guys and girls out there that were like top flight.
Have any dance partners as well?
Yeah, and a bunch of them. I mean, when I stopped dancing with, when the Zulu Rockers actually finally disbanded and stuff, everyone went their separate ways and did their thing. I started dancing with Mark Feathers, you know, and that was when the locking was really started to take sort of hold. And then that was after '84 when everyone saw that movie Breakdance, which always made me laugh because there's not that much breaking in it. They're all popping and locking because it's all in the West Coast, but you know they sold the name of it, you know, like saying Oxo Cubes, sort of things. Like, hang on, and I watched that. I went, does anyone watch the same film? Because this is not breaking. I think there's maybe 3 little bits of breaking in it, and
the rest of it's all popping.
Yeah,
and
they're
locking,
on top of it. I'm like, all right, cool. And then the locking thing started to really sort of take hold. I remember seeing locking in the States. I remember seeing an advert by the original Lockers for Coke 45 malt liquor. And I remember the song when I watched them. I watched this video, I think in 1982. Colin West had it on tape called Tony Basil Take 2, in which the Lockers and Poppin Pete and them guys were dancing with Tony Basil, because she used to do a lot of videos for Talking Heads. Then them guys would work for her with Talking Heads, and then we'd see what them guys were up to. And the Lockers would come out.
She was a wicked dancer.
Yeah, man. She from Aston. I think she was like dancing with the year before I was born.
She's still rocking it now.
She's 70 years old and she still gets on. And she gets on. I'm like, oh, calm down, man. You make me feel old, you know. But she rocks it the same way, you know. But she loves that thing, you know. She loves the whole vibe about it, you know. And I think, you know, Tony Basil's the person that, to me, I mean, I've never met her, but she comes across as a person that loves the purity of the dance. She's not into the politics.
The original format.
Yeah, and get that one. If you get one down, then you can mess around with it. But you know, yeah, I mean, those days were, you know, that's when the locking was starting to come in, and the Shabba, I mean, he killed it on the movie Breaking, killed it. But what was funny is, I think it was May, the movie came. It premiered down in Marble Arch, and of course, all those couple boardroom boys went down there. And I felt sorry for the people that worked in the cinema, because I don't think one of us paid. But they got a deluge of these kids coming through the door. It was like, just let them in. Let them in, because what are you going to do? And we went and saw the premiere, and we went, ah. And then Shabba and Shrimp came up and did a little performance on the little stage in front of the curtain afterwards, yeah? And then we went to Covent Garden, and then we all went to go back to Covent Garden, and everyone was doing their thing, and we went to Covent Garden. And they turned up there and tried to do a thing on the cobbles. Did they? Yeah, and I thought to myself, you know what's funny about this? I watched the film, watched you do your thing there. You did the same thing, so I said, well, all right, and I jumped in there. and I'm battling Shabadoo from the original Lockers. that guy there. And I'm battling him, and I'm holding my own. I'm like, God, hang on, wait a second. Oh, wait. He's getting shocked. He should have burned me already. I'm not burned. You should have burned me just then. I'm not burned. No, I got you. I got this, and the crowd's around again. Daddy, go on, London boy, go on. And then Shrip made a fatal mistake. I'll jump in him. It didn't come in because Shrip would have out-popped me. Shrip came in and jumped down and started doing his little footwork. And I was like, oh, nah. And then from the right hand side, I remember Dolby D just jumped in there, Dolby the battling. He went, yeah! He got in, I got this one, Dad, don't worry about it. And he ripped to the shreds. Ripped up poor little Shrip. Shrip would have been back to come and do his thing. But it was a funny thing to watch, and then I think that's one of the realisations that we actually had in London.
That must have been a major highlight for you.
Yeah, or in the UK thing that you realise, hang on, just because they're American, don't mean they're better than we are. Because everyone thought if they're from America, oh, we're scared. They're like, we realised, no. It's like when Buster Douglas beat up Mike Tyson, and everyone went, he's not invincible, he's just a man. That whole thing, the notch got taken down a bit. And I mean, Shabadoo's a nice enough guy. Yeah, this happens. It's not a thing. He goes, lovely to dance with you. I remember when we first met Poppin Pete, they did a carnival show. And I actually missed the one they did the carnival for Mastermind. I was from about it. But about a month later on, they came to Covent Garden. I remember this guy, Fred, I think he's on Facebook now, Freddie Jones is a DJ now. But I used to be a proper boogie boy, so take me everywhere and stuff and school me up. I remember him going, there's some punk guys over there, they're fitting to pop down, go take them out. When I went, that's Poppin Pete, Skeet Rabbit and Sugar Pop. What are you going on with, man? No, don't be silly. But we got chatting and I showed them what I've got and they schooled me a bit and certain formats and stuff we did. I remember we did a big wave, like about 30 people. I remember I got his hand and he's going, bang! I'm going, that's my wrist. He hits like bang, like he means it sort of thing. So, I mean, all them things happened, and I think all them things influenced me the way I think about not just the dance, about how you deal with people, you know? Because I mean, I know people that were brilliant dancers that were so arrogant to people. They've caused them to even back then to lose work and lose friends and lose the respect that they should be having right now. People go, oh, he's a twat, as opposed to going, no, but it was all right still, you know. I mean, that's when I met Fraggle and them guys there, and MC Mello, and all them guys were dancers then.
So when did you meet Frags and Mello and that?
I met Frag about, I think probably late '82, when we first started going to Covent Garden, and when Hierarchy was being built, you start meeting people and stuff, yeah. Because Frags was a popper, yeah, and Frag was bloody good, yeah. But Frag said, you know, he had his crazy girlfriend, man, and he got to go do a show. She goes, yeah, let's go to the show. So Frag would go, oh, I can't do the show then.
He'd be laughing at this now.
Yeah, because he would laugh. And the thing is, I'm not going to name her, you know, but when I talk to him later, he's going to go.
He's going to be strong to phone to you, yeah.
And Mello, when he was a popper,
because he went under the MC Mello, went under the name as Moomin, didn't he?
Moomin had one of the heaviest hits. Yeah. Moomin hit like Taco.
Chest hits.
The entire thing, he used to look to me, as I say to him, when he hits, when he moves, it looks as though someone's cut like 2 frames out of the film. Like bam, like Taco, like Pete, like bang. And I was like, oh, just don't do it anymore. So, but like I said before, lots of people started off doing that thing. Yeah. And moving on to something else, becoming an MC or a DJ or whatever. So you know, there's a lot of that was going on, you know, and a lot of them guys. And I think I try to believe that a lot of the way that we interacted back then as young men and women has carried on a lot with them today. The guys you still see, still out and about, have got a certain mindset. They're not turned to this and turned to that and turned to the other. They're trying to carry on their mindset because of how we interacted back then.
Anyone you feared as a dancer?
Basil.
Basil?
Yeah. Well,
Basil Pepper Pot?
Yeah, always, mate. We used to hang together, we train together, We never did a show together. We never battled and we never did a show together. And I find I'll get the measure of you if we battle, if we do a show together. Because then I know what you're going to do. I mean, the first show we ever did together was 2010. Breaking Convention. The first time we actually ever did a full-on show. We've been in shows before, but never did a show we rehearsed together and da-da-da-da-da. But before that, he's probably the only man that I'm not sure.
Yeah, big shout out to Basil as well.
Yeah.
And can you tell me about a few like the early jams
Oh,
I mean, obviously Electric Ballroom.
yeah, Lyceum would always do their thing.
Lyceum, yeah.
The Albion Empire was to do a nice little jam every so often down at
New Cross.
New Cross sides, yeah. Kisses, we used to go all the way down to Kisses, cause they, and that was more of a sort of soul-y boogie, stushy club, but every so often they play a bit of electro and let us get loose. Spats, yeah. Spats, but that was the afternoon thing, and the youngsters would go there as well. There's a couple of fun clubs that were still open. Horseshoe would do a little once in a while thing, but Horseshoe was a boogie boy thing that tried to get into the electro hip hop thing, but they couldn't quite get they didn't know if it was going to last, they didn't really put anything into it. Breaker's Yard came out, I think 84ish, and that was probably Damn My Boxer, that was a jam. Yeah, and then the coach strips up north and stuff.
Dan, so was there, you know, back in the early days, was there a certain tunes that would get you know, get you moving?
Yeah, of course. Arcade Funk, Knowledge Me.
Till.
Planet Rock as well, you know, always, you know. Right in Lagos, always. Hip Hop Bebop, that one there.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. And then slightly later, when we, as I said before, you know, we go ballroom, and them guys, George Power or Paul Trouble Anderson would put on certain tunes he knew they were going to get us off.
And what was they playing at a ballroom?
Like they whack on Narfish. The soul, yeah. And then they just knew. We'd be on the stairs or slightly outside. All we hear was, it's time. And you see a storm of b-boys run through the place.
What version did they play? Did they play the B-side? You know, with the bonus beat?
I think, yeah, more than likely.
Yeah.
The longer version, yeah. Them tracks. But, I mean, for the poppers as well, I mean, they'd mess with us a little bit, though, but they play certain tracks. And they drop like Knee Deep by Funkadelic, or like Thighs High was my almost all-time favourite jam by Tom Brown. I go nuts to that one, and Paul, I think Paul saw me go nuts one day. He went, all right, that's for Dan, right?
Hey, Paul Trouble Anderson.
Yeah, I'd be sitting towards the girl, and I'd hear the, I go, no. You, I've got to go dance to this. By the time I get back 15 minutes later, she's gone, and I'm sweating at the place. Yeah, but to me that was a mark of a really good DJ, to know he's on a crowd. Yeah. I know what jam's gonna work at what time of the night. So you know, to know them jam. I mean,
and also we got to say that rest in peace to Paul Trouble Anderson, because he only passed away last week.
Yeah. I mean, I talked to Fred Jones, and I'm supposed to be doing like a picture as a tribute for him, and I'm still in bits, and I can't get any what I would consider a fitting tribute to draw for him.
Yeah.
And give it to Jones and put it to give him to the family, because I'm like, nah. I'm literally going, no, kicking him upward over, you know, acting like like Scarface, hey, hello to the bad guy, going a bit nuts. Yeah, but them DJs, that they knew their craft, and they knew what tracks to drop. I mean, even to the point where they drop like certain soul-y tracks, like they drop like somebody else's guy, and they speed up slightly, so the beat is like you can pop to it. So it'd be like somebody else's guy, and you can dance with a girl to that one there a little bit. But you can do your thing, you know. I remember talking to I think Crazy Legs, and he goes, what killed b-boying in the early 70s was disco. Because they say, you know, you can't dance to a girl and b-boy it. It doesn't really work that way. So if you're going to dance with a girl, you got to do the whole it's sort of thing like that. So I understood what they was doing. They're trying to let the guys do their thing, but still getting to do that boogie thing and that dancing thing. You know, that was a beautiful thing. But yeah, I mean, up till now, I mean, I've got a CD I've burned, like CD mix, and I've got it ballroom classics. You know, like encores on there and then something there, and then them tracks would lick, and people would still get down to it. You know, and I've noticed, like I said, them guys will speed up slightly, and you get Dolby and them guys, the Whiskies, getting down to encore because it's slightly fast enough for you to dance to, but it's not just to do your little groove thing to. You know, but I mean, I think one of my favourites Poppin tunes has got to be Beatbox Take 2. That's one of my favourite ones that you can get off to. But things like that, I mean, and also there's a tune called The Pleasure Boys by Steve Strange. There's got a naughty break in it, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You drop that, you repeat that one, and we go off, we go nuts. So yeah, there's a lot of them tracks that came out and stuff, you know, even before the record companies got over the first wave of hip hop and started making these tunes for people to dance to. There's tracks that we would dance to anyway, naturally, you know.
And Dan, what would you say would it take to make a great popper?
I mean, one of my main things has been and I learned this from like hearing Skeeter Rabbit say it, like in class to people. It's a dance. It's a dance. It's a dance. It's a dance. Don't keep trying to do everything you know at once. You know, like when a small child starts, they learn like 10 moves, and they do all 10, like the Flash or something. So no, have fun. It's a dance. Do one. Do your thing. Work out your formats and stuff. You know, I mean, I've trained guys, and there's a couple of guys that I know, and I love them dearly. And I've said to them, you know, you could be a little bit better because if you just drop that little move, that you can, all that little style, because the way you dance anyway, you add that to that, you'd be kind of more all round. But then if someone doesn't think a certain way, they're not going to do certain things. You know, I think it's hard to train somebody when they're slightly set in their ways. That's why we teach kung fu to kids when they're small. So that's the way their brain works automatically when they get bigger. Otherwise, you're not going to, you know. I mean, start boxing today. You're going to be world champion? No, because we're big old men. We got a way that we do things. We're like, no,
what's the heart?
I know about that sort of thing. So, I mean, what makes a good popper to me? I'd always say your timing, because I think everything else can be learned.
Yeah, you're right.
If your timing's not on, in your heart, everything else to me can be learned. I mean, I wasn't born doing strips, you know, splits and W's and things like that, and flapjacks and stuff. I learned to do that stuff. But my timing has always been
bang on, yeah.
And that's what we need to do, you know. For me anyway, because I see a lot of the new cats, and it's like what I find funny with the poppers that are out there now. A lot of them are out there now, is they only dance to their own compositions. So they've got it in their head. They've worked out all for a month to this one beat, and they're dancing every little beats, and I'm fine. Impress me. Throw another tune on there. Get down to that, and you see them go like a deer in the headlights. They get lost like. Whereas we would dance to anything. You go, oh, that jazz funky, let's get down.
Going back to Covent Garden, what would you say made Covent Garden so important in terms of like the UK hip-hop scene? Was it because it was a meeting place for everybody from around the world? Well,
to me, what it was, it started with people sort of seeing that, oh, you can go down there and busk a bit, and it became you can meet people like-minded, and it was very central in London. You could kind of get there, no matter where you were in London. You can kind of get there. You meet people that you form relationships, camaraderie and stuff. You go out, you rave. You can train there. We always get them in Charing Cross. We go down on the slippery bits in front of the shops. I feel so sorry for them, because we're just looking at the mirrored glass and stuff. We're not thinking about their trade. Man's just doing backspins in front. It's like, man's just doing this thing. Sod your shop, mate. I'm getting down. So, but people could always do their thing down there, meet up, and meet like-minded people, meet girls, meet guys, got raving and stuff. And then when people from up north realised that was the place to go, they'd come down there. And people from Paris, we met the Paris City Breakers and Solar and them guys there. People from like Scandinavia, like my boy Damon and Mr. Steen and them guys, and Whitecats and them guys. So they come out because they heard that this is a place to go to. So you come down there, and even though there was always that long-running argument that West London should be the mecca of UK hip hop, because the first piece was done. I think Zephyr did a piece up there, and the first show was done there by Sir Drew and them guys there.
That was a Futura. Yeah,
Futura. Sorry, my bad. Yeah,
2000.
And Sir Drew is from that neck of the woods, and
Nutriment and all them guys. Yeah.
No, Nutriment gave us our first paying gig. Yeah, at the Wag Club when it was called Whiskey A Go Go. That's how old I am. You know, Nutriment and Dizzy Heights gave us Poppin was our first paying gig to come in on a Friday night and support them.
Yeah, they're proper legends as well.
Yeah, cool. You know, but I mean, this is that thing. To me, the Covent Garden thing was an organic thing, which is why it stands. You know, when you're trying to make this thing happen, you're trying to make, say, Brixton the home of hip hop. It doesn't work that way. You're trying to make Harsden. It doesn't work that way. Covent Garden happened organically, like you know.
It was the epicenter.
Yeah, like a cell dividing, and it
yeah.
happened like that, and that's why it's there. And that's why I mean, Yankee and them guy, and Dougie Hayward would be trying to fight to get a blue plaque up there or something to say this is where this happened, and even after the hip hop thing.
Didn't Rocksteady Crew come over as well?
Yeah,
to Covent Garden.
Yeah, Dolby battled. I think he battled. Buck 4, I think he battled. Bucky or Kiraki, he had a little terrible, but Dolby's always battling somebody, man. Dolby battled Sir Swift and Freddie Fresh, man. I was like, Dolby, can we just go and get something to eat? No.
Dolby was in beast mode.
Yeah, but Dolby's a battler, man.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's a proper get down and dirty. Yeah, but the Covent Garden thing, and there were people that only popped down to Covent Garden once or twice, and you still find people arguing that they're not proper hip hop people. But you know, not everyone went down there. People went down there as much as they wanted to go or needed to go. Other people was there all the time. It doesn't work that way, but it has become the place where people will say oh, that place there, like people say, oh, Rocksteady Park, that's where you go, and that's where that happened. The Queensbridge, that's where that happens. You know, and it's an organic thing. It's not a thing where you try to be convoluted about it and create something. You know.
And was there? Could you tell me about some of the ferocious battles down there, Dad? I mean, was there some crazy battles that you was in?
In Covent.
No, like any. To be honest, any battles.
We've been in battles, man. Come on, I remember taking on Sidewalk on my own. I took them, and Sidewalk were considered among the best, and I was at Breakers Yard, and to me, I just got good, you know. Then the Charles goes to me, no, you're getting it, then I'm up. I just got kind of good, and I'm battling, who was it? Richard Morgan, he went on to become a DJ, Richie Rich. And Michael Forsyth from Scorpio, who was part of Sidewalk, and a couple of other guys, I can't remember their names. And then there's getting on me. And I was dealing with them neatly. And I know, the thing is, in retrospect, I knew I was in a battle, but I knew them guys getting tired, there's me one. And I'm inventing everything. And everything I see you do to me, I'm going to give you 2 versions of it, plus my own little thing. And that's when I learned to battle that way. If you can do what the guy can do, drop it differently from him. If you can't, change up the lanes. Do something. If he comes up with some mad clicking, do a slow motion on him. If you can't click like that, do something else. You never know, you might hit me and go, shit, I can't do that.
What would you say was the greatest battle you ever had?
Me and Dolby versus Smack 19. Shore Theatre. We was doing like some big shows. We was doing like tutorials and stuff, and they came down to do the show as well. And
was that the Rap Attack?
No, I'm not sure. No. It was a Shore Theatre. Barron and Lot was there. Barron and IKC.
Yeah, that was the Rap Attack. That was in '85. I went to that. Yeah.
Yeah, because Smack 19 came in. I think they did some stuff down there.
Was that a tough battle?
Well, there's 2 of us versus the entire Smack 19. So there's a bunch of them. And I wasn't involved. Being Dolby, yeah, you know who you are. talking smack to Smack 19, as usual. They've gone in there and they've kicked off. They've got down. I'm like, yeah, I can't leave a boy alone, so I jumped in. I took them on, took them out. But that was a tough one because they weren't giving up, man. You know. But I mean, the problem that they had for me was that thing where they were all one specialty moment, like one special. Thing that they could do, and if you could drop something else on them, they're kind of wounded. But then even that one there, to me, that's one of them that I'd say is a learning curve, you know, to try and be, if not an all-rounder, try and be flexible enough to do a little bit of everything. Yeah, but that was a tough one. That was, and also I remember, this is a funny one. Was I'm not sure what year it came out, but there's that song by, was it Break Machine?
What's Street Dance? Yeah,
and then he with the guy with his shoulder move. I thought he was going to give yourself a stroke or something, mate.
He done that mad move when he put his hand and he spun round on one hand.
What did he do that one there?
That was on top of the pops.
What did he do? A vertical?
Yeah, it's like when you get the one hand like that, and your whole body's out like that, and you spin round on the one hand.
Oh, I don't remember that one there. I remember being in Heavens, that club, me and Melvin, and them not come down there and they're doing their thing and that, and I think the DJ busted Art of Noise. And I was a bit lively, and I went out and I kind of went into him a bit. And then they started to get down on the floor. I said, Melvin, You could break. I don't break, man. You b-boy. So me and Melvin took them on and upset them a bit because, again, remember, Americans are very, very provincial. They don't think anyone outside their little corner of the universe can do what they do. So when they see people, they get shook. They thought it's funny, and then we walked up and hang out afterwards, we was having a chat and blah. But that was a fun battle. But battling. I mean, I've done battles where I've done nothing at all. Literally, I remember doing a thing where this guy, Leafy, love you dearly. He sees he's gonna go, Dan. Because you think you are Danny Francis, man? You come from Garden. Yeah. This battle there. I said, all right, cool. And I stood up there, and Freddie went. This was just with his chest. To me, he goes, he waved his chest, and everyone went, yeah, I saw it as well. Like Emperor's New Clothes. I didn't do shit. I stood there like this going, what? Won that battle. I didn't do nothing. So, but I mean, that's a fun thing. But to me, I've never taken them. I've never actually taken a battle thing that seriously, unless I'm in the moment. And afterwards, it's always, I'm all going to try and say, yes, go on, true, let's get a drink, man. That move, you almost killed me with that move. What's all that about? Show me that thing, man. Because to me, that's the aim of the game. The aim is not for me to embarrass you to the point, and hurt yourself and cry into your Budweiser. It's like, yeah, that was cool. Let's work together. So it's always been me. And I think that's kind of why I've never had any beefs in the hip hop scene, community, like what we're gonna call it, and I've never actually had any enemies. Generally, I get on with people because I don't see why this thing is overly important to the point you're gonna lose your mind over it. I don't understand it, so I've never got involved in that one there. But I still see battles where sometimes on YouTube you see man's getting vexed, and I think, what are you getting vexed for? I think to myself, the minute you get that angry, that frustrated, you forget what you're supposed to be doing.
Is that where we're kind of coming from, that mentality of Zulu Nation, where you have like peace, unity, love, and having fun?
Yeah, always. To me, you have to understand what you're doing when you're doing it. Don't get upset if the other person kind of does you up today. Go get better. Next time, go, I've got something for you. And you deal with them that way, and then when that's done, it's done. It's over. There shouldn't be any beef, any friction, or anything like that to have to be squashed. And get to a situation where you have to have someone that have to come in and mediate to two grown people, because neither you can back down and say this is nonsense.
And was there any kind of key moves that you had, Dan, as well? I know your chess move was quite powerful.
Key moves, I don't know.
You was just a good all-rounder.
I tried to be a good all-rounder. I mean, I know especially when I was quite a bit younger, I'd go for the ugly angles and the W's and the shootouts and stuff like that, because they could be difficult for somebody else to do. And if you're warmed up and stretched enough, you can just drop that one and get straight back up. But the ugly angles and stuff, and ripple waves, things like that, just the weird stuff, and just keep on. I always think it's just to keep on time and keep grooving with it. I mean, I think that was what my forte was in the whole dance thing. I didn't have a thing where I knew this was my move and my move only. I was like, I just tried to do a little bit of everything, and even if I tried to do a move and it was like, no, it ain't gonna work, I'll change it to something else on the spot.
And you made it work.
Yeah, I made it work. That bit ain't gonna work. Just do it that way, and try things like that. So I think that was my quickness, and I know that. One of my partners, Pat Zazar, hi Pat, always says, he goes, that when I was dancing, I'm pretty much a natural mimic, and I've got a very good eye for the form. Like he used to say to me, one thing that he knew is if I'm dancing, I know which angle is going to be the best angle for that move to drop to whoever it matters to see. And I've never understood what that means, but I kind of get it. Like if you're going to drop a wave a certain way, and it means for this person to see it, you know which way to drop it, because from that angle, from over there, you're not going to see what I just did. So you make sure that person gets a full impact. And I kind of know I've done that before.
And Dan, let's go back to the fashion as well, because obviously fashion is a very important part of hip hop.
Yeah.
As in, like, as a character as well. Like, what kind of fashion was you wearing back then? Was you rocking like the name belts and the Kangols?
I never liked Kangols. Name belts, and gooses and stuff.
What did you have on your name belt?
Well, I had
DC Rock.
Yeah, And then I'm not sure. I think I loaned it to somebody, and I never got it back. But you know, it's like when you're young. I didn't pay for it. I think my aunt sent it from New York, because I didn't pay for it, so it didn't really matter to me. If I'd bought it, I'd probably have it now. But yeah, DC Rock on that one there, and then. But I think the problem with that one there was when the stuff was beginning to become available in London, and I started to sort of move away from that whole East Coast thing to the West Coast vibe. I was dropping the baggies. And stuff,
the baggy trousers,
like that,
and
you know. And
what were the study gloves?
No, I didn't go that far, man. I ain't doing that one there. No, that's about Shabbaloo. But
bandanas and all that.
Yeah, no. Just I mean, the baggies for summertime was cool.
Did you do the Fox's towel?
No. I did the army gear.
Oh, the army style.
The khakis up there, and the baggies and the little t-shirts and stuff. The fat laces. I always loved my fat laces. I mean, I don't think I've done laces up in 35 years.
And what did you wear? Puma or shell toe?
Pumas.
Puma.
Because for me, they were nicer to dance in.
Wow.
Shell toes were a bit tough on my toes.
Yeah.
But I wear them to go raving. But then I have to bring something else in the bag if I get down. And Converse always.
They mash up your toe to your shell toe, yeah?
Yeah, they can. But the thing is, the way I dance, they will rub on my toes. You know, things like that. Yeah, a lot of baggies and stuff. We used to like to rock the we used to basically flip blind around the corner of Covent Garden, and we come up with the American bandstand jackets with the
I remember them.
Yeah, man. Me, Fraggle and Hofmeister would rock them. Come down there and pow, pow, pow. Oh, it was tough. That was cool. That was a
military jackets.
Yeah, and then things were kind of cool. But what I started to do, probably by about 85, 86-ish, about 85-ish, I started to wear like shirt and a waistcoat and slacks and rubber sole shoes to dance in, to get that kind of slick look. Because I remember Dennis Charles saying to me all the time, when we was young, when we first started, and he's like, when we had our first battle as Poppin Wizards, and we bought a bunch of this pinstripe material. My mum made baggies for us. We all bought like white shoes or sneakers and a white t-shirt, put our name on it, and our white gloves. Because them guys said, if you look the part, half the battle's won. If you come out mismatched, who it is look? If you come out looking the same, whoa.
Yeah.
That's the idea to do that thing, and I always remember that one there. So I always try to do the neat thing, even like when we was dancing in Scandinavia and stuff, we'd do a thing where we'd have bare chested, but we'd have the waistcoat and the baggies on, and black sneakers or black shoes with a rubber sole and this sort of thing. So you got that uniform look, but always trying to be slightly neater than you see people like they sort of mishmash this. I mean, the East Coast stuff was nice, but it became to me like it became too regimented. Like, you weren't into hip hop unless you wore this gear, and you get people coming down, they got all the fly gear, can't bust a move. I'm like, what's all that about? What do you actually do? I just walk around looking like this, doing that a lot. You can do that at home. You know, just because you got money to buy a goose, that mean So
would you say that obviously style and fashion was quite an important part of being being a popper?
I mean, it is always going to be important, you know. I mean, you want that. I mean, we went for the individual look, but even then, we wouldn't end up looking the same because we all belong to a certain tribe, and that's your identification, that you wear a certain thing. People look at you and say, "That's a popper, that's a locker, that's a b-boy, that's a b-girl," sort of thing. Da 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 da. So I mean, trying to sort of retain your originality in that conformity as well, which is really mad. I remember once hearing Richie Crazy Legs coming out complaining. He goes, "I see these b-boys. None of you look like b-boys. All the poppers look like poppers. They're wearing the top hats. They've got this on, their shirt on, there. Look at you lot." And he's really going into them, because they come out looking like they just come out of a washing vegetarian, like ooh, slovenly and stuff. I thought, I get where he's coming from, because in his day you couldn't go and rock unless you was rocking. Didn't work that way. The man just turned up as is. So, I mean, fashion, to any tribe, the way you look is going to be important, I mean, no matter what, Boogie Boys had their style, the Wolves Boys, the Wolf Roaders had their style with the waistcoats and the baggy shirts and the Del Montes and stuff, and the big pink glasses and the little top.
It was like the Wolf Roaders.
Yeah, them boys.
Yeah.
And
Or did they have their own kind of image going?
yeah, you know, there's some people that can come down and do the thing, but they had the black baggies and the like, patent leather shoes and that kind of thing, and then it was like, I think it was Drooper and them boys, Kenneth, and they had the little Demonte things on, and then they got larger and larger and larger, and then they started to sell them in shops because they knew these guys were buying them, and it became like chandeliers and stuff. So it's like that became like conformity, you know, and the media gets hold of it. I mean, let's be fair. You must have seen the adverts for, like, you know, breaking hats and breaking knee pads and breaking this and breaking that. Yeah, here's you breaking this. I'm like, no, you just ruined it. You smashed it up, you know. And this is special for graffiti paint. No, it's not. It's paint. You just put graffiti in the front of it. You're going to charge me money for it, you know.
Yeah. And did you ever try any other elements of hip hop, Danny? I mean, did you ever dabble in graph or beatboxing or?
No, I think we've all done a little bit.
Tried DJing?
We've all done a bit of that, haven't we? The bit of this going, going to kill me. Blaming brother. Bit of rapping? Nah, I'm not. Nah, the MC's not my thing.
No.
But I've always loved drawing and that, you know. And I used to go out with Mode and Zaki and Eskimo and.
So you was always into the graph?
Yeah, and I still speak to Mode now, you know. I ain't seen Errol for a bit prior, but I mean, I was made like an honorary member of the Chrome Angels because I was there like when they first started to put that thing together when they did the Trailblazers, you know. And I remember it was Fury used to call Mode, his first name was Artiz, because Fury would always go, what? He's an artiste? Because he's from Trinidad, there's a slight lilt to his,
yeah.
You're an artiste? So he write Artiz and then changed to Harzak and then into Mode. And the rest with Mode is history. You know, he went out and went, bloody, slow down, Mode. World domination over there. So, I mean, I've always done the art thing, the drawing thing, and, you know, I've been inspired by someone that actually has a bit of a vision and see what kind of thing they do, and, you know, and basically rip them off as well.
So who was inspiring you on the graph side?
The Chrome Angels.
Yeah.
Zephyr, like this stuff, Futura stuff, I always like that stuff, Futura stuff, yeah, like that stuff there. Bando from Paris,
yeah,
the Madman, you know, Lumit was good stuff, you know, Prime, there's a bunch of them out there though, you know, Rough, some good stuff as well, from what I've seen, you know. Cena was a favourite, because Cena was one of them guys, he pretty much got it all right in the first time round. Dondi, yeah, all them guys there, Crash, Des and them guys, lovely stuff, you know, but in saying that, I'm kind of an old school guy, and I kind of stopped doing stuff for the longest time, and then stopped, and then started, and then stopped, and then started, and then you know, I remember I retired, one of my many retirements, and I think it was it UK Fresh? It was 87, wasn't it?
86.
It was 86.
Yeah, 86.
And I was actually selling insurance, and I'm walking through Leicester Square with the next, like a tartany looking, like green tartan, the next suit. Look at it now, I think, my God, was I wearing that? And I'm walking through Leicester Square and I see Freddie Griffiths, Fred Jones, going, there's some guy over there, same bloody guy again. There's some guy over there, if you think he can pop, go and take him out, man. Looked over and went, nah, he does, get some, why not? From California. I said, how do you know that? Look at his footwork. No one in England does like that. It was Damon Frost. And it was when I first met Damon Frost, and we started hanging out, and he'd come to the centre and stuff, and we went to do the Fresh thing, and we've been like mates, brethren, let's go and live in Sweden and hang out and dance with them guys out there ever since. And he's one of the guys, I would say one of the top guys I've ever danced with. Like Mark Dice, Pat Cesar, Chris Evans, Mr. Steen, them guys there, Warren Crooks, you know, Tricky, Anthony Edwards, them guys are top flight guys. And them guys are, all them guys are old, especially the English guys, are all old hip hop guys that have sort of moved on and done their thing as well, and gone out and stuff, done their own thing.
With the graph, so now, I mean, you're still doing the art now, aren't you?
Yeah.
So tell us about, you know, what you're up to nowadays, because I know obviously you got some paintings. And
Yeah. Well, I thought, you know,
you've got a few little examples of your artwork.
I mean, you can see some bits and pieces. I'm not sure if you can get it all on the camera.
If we hold them up to the camera, that b-boy character you got on your t-shirt.
Yeah. It's like the originals. I mean, what I'm doing with the art thing, there's like a three-tier thing that I kind of do. Is one of my first loves will be graph and my hip hop.
Hold it to the right a touch, Dan.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it. And to the right a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff I'm doing right now.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
And
Can you get prints of that?
I'm actually working on it right now. I'm actually working on my website, and this is another one I did. This was a commission, but the guy flaked on me,
Wow.
so I'm going to keep it.
I really like that. And who's on the front there?
No one.
Oh, you just made the characters
Literally, all I wanted to do is have that sort of wild style poster.
Yeah.
Phil, and I've actually put in the corner, thanks to I think it's whoever it is that did the original pieces.
And you got the wild style down the bottom there.
Yeah, so
Zulu beads.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have to pay homage to the creators, man, because without these cats,
It'd be nothing.
We wouldn't talk about this at all.
That's right.
And also, without these cats carrying on what they do, there'd be nothing going on. So, because I've got my website up, I mean, the nickname is the Art Sloth, because I do art and I'm kind of lazy. So if you Google Art Sloth, mine comes up to
Art Sloth.
Yeah.
So ARTSSLOTH.
Yeah, Art Sloth.
Art Sloth.
Art Sloth.
Oh, art.
Yeah.
No S. Right. So art.
Art Sloth.
Got it.
ARTSLOTH.
Yeah.
And it'll
you got
pop up. So I've got of the book of my life story.
So you're also going to be writing a book as well.
Yeah, I'm actually writing what sort of loosely termed the memoirs of a Poppin Wizards. This is my first group, and how I actually got into the whole UK hip hop scene. It's like 2 pages. Can you see that?
Yeah.
From the book.
Also, it's going to be kind of like a cartoony style.
That's how. That's my prime way of actually expressing myself. Would be not with just the words. The imagery going to be in there as well.
Yeah.
So there's that one there, and that's the sort of the start of it.
Wow.
And but like a shame, I'll have it maybe done by someday. I'm not sure. I've been trying to crunch the book down and sort of cut pages out of it. Like they don't need to know that. Just concise it a bit.
And what are you going to call the book?
Well, as I said, the memoirs of a Poppin Wizards is the
kind of title.
The working title. I'll see when I finish it and see it and what's going on. I'm also working on a book about the Windrush situation as well. We're doing a lot of work with the Windrush organisations because of my friend's situation over the Windrush Action. And I've done some pictures about that as well. But if you want to see that stuff, literally Google Danny F. the Art Sloth.
The Art Sloth.
Yeah, and it will come up.
Are you on Instagram as well?
Yeah. And Facebook and what's the other one? Twitter.
And Twitter.
Same thing.
What's your details on Instagram?
I think it's Danny F. _the _Art Sloth.
Right. Danny, listen, it was an absolute honour.
It's been honoured to be in the cab, mate. I mean,
I hope you enjoyed this little cab chat.
I'm just sorry it's so bloody long. You know what I mean? I keep seeing everyone else. I'm like, I know, because
do I owe money or something? We was meant to do this about 1.5 years ago. But also, big thanks actually to DJ Def K.
Yeah, because he gave me your number.
Because Def K gave you my number, yeah. So big shout out to Def K. And actually, also, we're going to be doing something special in the new year with Def K.
Yeah.
And something else, but I can't really say too much about that. But yeah, that's going to be big. Listen, Danny, do you want to give some shout outs?
Oh, mate, how long you got? First, my lovely wife, Alicia, who without anything, my life is unmeaningful and bland and empty. Colin West, Damn Swift, yeah, he actually got me into this game. Fury, the Poppin Wizards, Barrow, Morgan, people like Mark Monero, Basil Pepperpot, Dolby D, Dennis Charles, Poppin Pete, Skiddy Rabbit, Sugar Pop, Robert Dane, Poppy Boozer, guys like that, Rocksteady Crew, Crazy Legs, Kuraki, them guys there, the N-Word Twins, some of the really old school dudes, Shabba and Shrimp, people from Covent Garden, Billy Business, Sipo.
Rest in peace.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Eddie Darkwa. You know, man like that.
Yeah.
Airborne, Turtle T, Loopy Legs, Sahara, Segi, Abigail, Anakiri, the Cookie Crew, bloody hell, Rodney P, Mellis, Pat, Millie Mills. Oh, good lord, I can be all day.
Frags.
Oh, Frags, sorry, mate.
You were saving Frags till last.
Boom, 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 boom. I mean, all them guys, you know, Freddie, Griffiths, Paul, Trouble Anderson, all them guys that helped to mould me and make me into a better person and a better man, you know. Yankee from Covent Garden, Dougie Haywood from Covent Garden, them guys there, Nicky Ditterville, people like that. Dana, people like that, you know, that came through and kept coming through all the time, that we lived and worked together, you know. Yeah, I love you, man. And Alicia, who I'm living with now, because she will never forgive me. And the Windrush Action Group.
Yeah.
Let's keep up the pressure. Yeah.
Well, Dan, listen, an absolute honour to have you in the back of the cab. You've got fantastic history, and I can't wait for this book to come out as well.
Yeah, that remind me the amount of work that's going to go into it. But you know, it is fun doing it, and it is fun actually remembering things and be reminded when I see people like Fraggle and people like Hofmeister and Colt.
Cole, come on.
Pauline.
Yeah.
And Rob John. Oh, good Lord. I beat you, you know.
We could go on forever.
Oh, and mate. Yeah, but you know, I mean, once it's done, it'll be, like, you know, like I say all the time, lots of people do this thing where they want to do a documentary or a book about hip-hop, and other people say this, no, it's wrong, no. I say no. Because it's an experience from a point of view. There's no right or wrong. It's the way you looked at it from that point in time. So my book is completely perfect from my viewpoint. Your one will be slightly different, even though we're in the same place, because your experience is slightly different. So I said to people, stop moaning at other people, go and write your own book. Go and make your own documentary. Simple.
And Dan, that T-shirt you're wearing, obviously that's one of your characters and graph. Where can people get that from?
Right now, I'm waiting on a company to do my prints, but they'll be ready to order hopefully by spring from the website theartsloth.com.
Yeah.
So they'll have a full set of available T-shirts and prints and patches and all sorts of paraphernalia and stuff. You know. But it's a work in progress now. It's just, like I said before, it's taken longer than I expected to get it all organised. But like I said, it'll be organised by spring. So by summertime,
it'll be ready. We'll be ready. Listen, Dan, absolute honour. I'm going to get you back to back to your yard now, yeah. But listen, absolute honour to chat to you. I hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah, man, it's been fun. It's been fun.
And I think it's very, very important that we document our history as well,
as much as possible, because this is the thing. This is one of the problems that the Americans had, was because they didn't, and like we had in the 80s when it came up, we didn't know it was going to be a thing, so no one really filmed it and wrote things down.
You just thought it was going to be a fad.
Yeah.
Like 2-3 years and finished.
Yeah, and then we go about our business.
And I thought 40 years later, we're still doing it. We're still doing it.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, listen, absolute honour, my man. And I'm going to get you back to the back to your place now.
Right,
all right?